Whether it was on TikTok or any broadcasting station known to mankind, the Gaza wars have been making headlines around the world. And since they've agreed to a peace deal with the help of US President Donald Trump, some still ask themselves, what led to this destruction? What led to the Gaza wars? That's why I'm here. Let's talk about the Gaza Strip, Israel, and what really happened. Who owns what? Here at Manuka Knows Best. So before the Gaza Strip was made into the Gaza Strip, it was part of the historic Palestine, which was under the Ottoman Empire. Then later, it was ruled by the British. Then before the British left in 1947, they gave power to the newly formed United Nations. Then the UN voted to split historic Palestine into two states, the Arab state and the Jewish state. The Arab state was for the Palestinians and the Jewish state was for the Israelites, the Israelis. The Israelis. So a lot of Palestinians were displaced from their home. Some of them went to the West Bank, and some of them, many of them in fact, went to the Gaza Strip. That's why the Gaza Strip is usually known to be an overpopulated city, because there are a lot of Palestinians that live in the Gaza Strip, about 2 million. So many of them went to the Gaza Strip. Displaced people looking for places to settle. It was basically, there was in spitting distance from where they used to live, because the villages were now given to the Israelis. So then it was eventually known as Israel. But then the other countries weren't agreeing to this type of setup. Such countries were Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Egypt, and Jordan as well. And Jordan, they didn't agree to this setup, so they declared war on Israel to defend the Palestinian people. But eventually, Israel defeated these countries, and Syria ended up, in fact, Syria didn't find a territory to occupy, but Jordan occupied the West Bank, and Egypt occupied the Gaza Strip. Then, about a few years later, Israel declared war again, fearing threats from other countries. Israel declared war on Jordan, Syria, and Egypt, and it ended up occupying the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, the Golan Heights from Syria, and the Sinai Peninsula from Egypt. And so this became quite difficult for the Gaza Strip, especially the Gaza Strip, in terms of the industries, the key industries that they made when they occupied the Gaza Strip. They made industries that were very key to the Gaza Strip, and they made the Palestinian people work for little to no payment. So not just that, Israeli militants were also attacking Palestinians. They were sometimes jailing those who had like small crimes. It was just corruption that was going around in the Gaza Strip. And eventually the Palestinians were fed up. They were fed up of this. But before they made some change, before any of this, there was a charity organization that was made called the Mujama al-Islamiyah. It was made to help the Palestinians, those who were struggling, those who were being given small salary. They were handed food and resources, stuff that they needed to survive. So the Mujama al-Islamiyah was a very helpful charity organization that was recognized in the country. So during these protests, very small protests that were going around, the Israeli militants didn't waste any time in arresting these demonstrators and these protesters. But it wasn't until later on an Israeli truck collided with a Palestinian vehicle and killed 4 Palestinians. And this eventually, at this point, the Palestinians were very fed up. And that is when they started to protest even more, strike and boycott the Israeli militants. And eventually this led to what is now known in the Gaza Strip as the First Intifada. Like and follow for part 2.